If Lens, Proboscis Cernos, and Larva would have a kid, this would be it. This is the Proboscis Cernos. As you probably could figure out why those three things, because this is pretty much a combination of those three, well, two weapons and a skill. Functions look just like the lance, don't have a, let's say, reserve ammo, and kind of explodes, works like larva, pulls enemies together. And Proboscis Cernos, well, this is all like infested, and also there's some AoE damage and still infested. You're gonna need a Proboscis Cernos to build this, and it's not that hard to build one. So let's just see what we can do against these enemies and group everyone up. Yeah. This does a really good amount of damage. It's probably gonna get nerfed. Really sure it's gonna get nerfed. It's just too good. Yeah. It could be nerfed because, well, it kills a lot of stuff, and it's really good on terms of like not usability, but doing its thing, grouping enemies. That is really good, even though it's not like that great of a pull and it explodes fast. But yeah, it can do a lot of damage. If there's a way to nerf this thing that could be, let's say, healthy, would be to nerf the ammo to like 7 or even 5. It would be, yeah, it would be bad, but not horrible. Alright, so let's go into the builds. I have a few builds today. Corrosive and Heat was the best one I could make. I think this is the best for now, at least. I also made something with critical, of course, using Arcane Avenger, and you can also use a Warframe like Harrow or get another buff just like that. I'm not sure who else can buff critical, but yeah, besides Harrow and Avenger, I think that's the only way to get critical. But yeah, Viral and Heat, the weapon already has Viral, so increasing the Viral still performs well, but not as good as Corrosive and Heat. And I also made a build for CC with continuous measure, increasing the status duration and going for radiation. I'm just gonna show you this build just because it's the more different one. Group of enemies, all under a good amount of CC for a reasonable amount of time. Okay, so it's about the mechanics of the bow. Your projectile will, on landing, it will pull enemies up to something like 10 or 9 meters and drag them to the center of the projectile, and every time it does this, it works like an attack, and it will proc status. The weapon has IPS, but it seems like it only procs like slash and the other, well, physical physical damage or physical procs when it actually pulls the enemies in and not on the explosion. At least that's what I think it happens. Not entirely sure, but yeah. And again, about modding, this weapon can use the Firestorm, but the Firestorm does not increase the range that the tendrils or tentacles are gonna pull the enemies. I think it only increases the explosion. And yeah, let's test the critical build. Let's put a Avenger here. And also let's turn the, let's remove the invisibility. Let's just go with as much critical as we can. We can take some damage to activate the, come on. Okay, so we don't want to proc the Avenger. Yep. Not that easy to survive, but yeah, it works. Probably not the best, but it works. Yeah. So you really can't stay alive with this, but if you have a frame that can take a lot of damage and with the Avenger, this might be usable. The only problem is that it seems like the pull attacks, let's say, does not crit, only the initial hit and the explosion. Yeah, that was what I was talking about. A lot of damage. This weapon works perfectly with like Vauban. It's just really good. Group everyone up and do a lot of damage. Great weapon to use with mag. Really good. Does a ton of damage. And also works amazing with Breed Surge. Gonna be dealing slash procs. I'm gonna group enemies up and also anything else that you add, and also the radiation from the Breed Surge. There's just so much stuff you can do, like with a weapon that can group enemies up. That just feels really good to have a weapon with this kind of special ability, let's say, or special effects. Let's see what we can do with Evolve. Let's increase the damage or the multiplier of the arrow as much as we can. Yeah, 9.3 is the maximum. We're gonna get, let's go for a headshot. Oh! Hmm. Not that bad. Not that bad. The best thing we could get for this weapon is probably multi-shot. Yeah. And another thing is that I really don't mind using heavy caliber. Like, most of the times I'm not a fan of using it, but in this situation it depends on what you want. If you want enemies on a specific place, then you probably shouldn't use it. But if your intention is to group enemies the best you can, then yeah, it will work really good, because you're gonna have a little bit of space between your arrows, and you're gonna be able to cover a little bit more area. Yeah. Does not hurt the weapon at all. Before I talked about Warframe heat, let me show you what it actually does. Just like corrosive heat, it will work, but probably not as good as corrosive heat. Yeah, also works really well with fragments. Oh, that. So yeah, that's pretty much it that I have for you about the Proboscis Cernos. Let me know what you think about this weapon in the comments below. And also, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed this video. And I'll see you in the next one.